What is going on, you guys? If you clicked on this video, there's a good chance that you yourself are a musician and you might be struggling to try to get people to listen to your stuff. Now, I'm going to come at you with maybe some outside of the box strategies to try and get your stuff in front of people. But before we jump into the strategies, I kind of want to talk about just your mindset in general about making your music. Because one thing as creatives that we have a bad tendency of is thinking that the world revolves around us, and you may have this talent, you may have this thing where you might have a sort of almost entitlement to think, well, I make such great music, I'm such a great artist, why aren't people listening to me? And I think it starts with a simple mind shift, and this goes with anything else. This goes with any good business, any good piece of art. Particularly in business, you need to think about your music as much as it is art and you want it to be an expression of yourself. You're still serving others, okay? If you think about any successful person in any realm of life, what is the one thing that they're doing? They're serving others. They're providing some sort of value. So instead of you thinking, okay, how can I get all this attention for myself? You need to think of your music as how can I provide the backdrop to somebody else's good time? Now, depending on what that good time looks like, you can kind of tailor your music to those things. And it's not like you're pandering to anybody else's taste. You can still be an artist true to your heart. But at the end of the day, what is your music if nobody else is hearing it? Now, until people actually give a flying about who you are, it is good to kind of make music that's going to appeal to people in certain circumstances, right? That's not losing your artistic integrity. That's why the Beatles dropped Abbey Road before they started dropping the stuff where they're, having goats playing flutes or whatever, or the experimental album always comes down the road. If you want to get on first, I believe in the truest way I could possibly believe that what you need to do is you need to think about what value are you bringing to the listener with your music. Now, if you're thinking of it as like a self-serve thing where, I make this music, I should be entitled to attention. No, you're not. What backdrop can you provide for people that's going to make their days better with your music? Now, that's where it all starts. Now, let's get into some actual tangible strategies that you can implement where if you have the right mindset to go into these things and build a business for yourself with your art. So the first way I can think of if I was trying to really get a record out there is memes. And the reason being, memes run every culture, every subculture, every genre of literally anything runs on memes. Now, you could be a lawyer, a construction worker, a salesperson, whatever it is, there's always memes. Now, any music fan in any field, they follow meme accounts because memes are just funny and they're such an easily shareable thing. And the great thing about memes is you're typically using familiar faces, right? The easiest way to break down a wall and become familiar to somebody, right? Like, think about the people you meet. When you meet somebody, it's a lot easier meeting a new friend through an existing friend, right? There's always this gap. So when you're trying to make your song, trying to make people become familiar with your art, the easiest way to do it is put yourself next to something else. So the way you can do this with memes is you can either create your own completely unrelated content, right? Like, let's say if you have a really hard metal song or like a really hard rap song or something like that. And this might sound stupid, but if you sync it up with like a cat giving somebody the stink eye or something like that, right? People are going to share it for that cat, but your music is still going to be attached to it. And that's going to spread, right? Because people are just like, oh, it's just a dumb little cat. But that's like you're playing on the subconscious. You're getting in front of people without being like, oh, here I am. Listen to me. Give me all this attention. You're giving them something they want to share with their friends anyways, which is this stupid cat. And you're attaching your music to it. Now, if that is too much for you, and when I say too much, it's not like this is a hard thing. But if you just want to focus on your music, which is completely fine, I totally understand that. Now, the good thing is you already have these meme accounts with an established audience. Now, that is a big key to try to get in front of another person's audience. It's like back in the day, the only option that rappers and stuff had back in the day was to get a famous feature on their record to try to get in front of an audience. Now you have the beauty, you have so many different attack angles. You just got to be creative and think outside the box. So one of these is messaging meme accounts, right? Messaging these meme accounts, and depending on who you're working with, they probably have their own creative input. And you say, hey, I'm trying to get my record in front of people. Don't just do one of those, like give them a video clip and they repost and be like, wow, everybody knows it's an ad. You do not want to make these things look like an ad. You want them to look authentic and organic. Think about how many songs you have discovered just by scrolling randomly and you hear somebody attach it to a meme, you could even use, if you have a music video, right? If you have a music video where you're making a particular face that would match with a funny caption or something like that, you can basically insert yourself in any way into something else that people are going to already pay attention to and make something new with it. And memes are so easy to share. It doesn't cost anybody anything to share, and people want to share them because other normal people feel like they're funny by sharing these memes. So if you can get in contact with different meme creators and just say, hey, do you mind just attaching, if you're sharing a post about who knows what, can you attach my song? Their prices are gonna vary. That's something where you gotta do some reach out. I'm just trying to get the creative juices flowing. Next, within kind of the similar vein, attractive women. Now, beauty sells. This has been something that marketing agencies, big brands have been taking advantage of since the dawn of media. We all know attractive women are able to garnish an attention, which a girl with 1 million followers, a girl can just have a pretty smile, long hair, and sit around and eat brunch in a bathing suit, and she can garnish 1 million followers. Why? Because we all want to see it, men and women alike, because beauty is something that sucks you in. Now, if you're a musician, people probably aren't going to be as hype on searching for new underground rappers as much as they are as seeing a beautiful woman eating biscuits and gravy for some reason. I'm guilty of it. I'd rather look at hot chicks than listen to your stuff for free. I'm just being honest. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to be your friend and give you a nice little reality check. But so with that, okay, if you watch beer commercials or anything like that, they use the women, like the monster girls or whatever, they used, and I don't want to say using women as like a bad term. Obviously, they get paid. They like the attention. It's a mutual thing. Any good business term is there's a mutual benefit. Now, what you can do is you can message these girls and you're not sliding their DMs trying to get with them and being creepy. What you're doing is you're sliding their DMs, then offering them a business opportunity and asking, hey, next time you're making a get ready with me video or you post any sort of thirst trap or something like that, can you use my song? Now that picture is going to get in front of thousands of dudes, right? And so, or anybody really looking at this picture, right? If they've ever liked one girl on Instagram, will come across their feed again. And then if they have the song attached, I don't know what they will charge you, but this is worth doing. I've done this with a song of mine. It's called Dylon. You can go on Spotify. I made a joking rap album, okay? Most of these things I'm telling you, I've done myself, and I'm not a serious artist. So I think that song has like 20,000 plays or something like that on Spotify. And that's all I did. I messaged a couple girls and I said, hey, can you do this? And if you go and look at my Instagram account, it's not all about me. It's about, okay, what would these other people want to share with their friends, and how can I kind of insert myself gradually? You know, that's kind of the art of this whole like media thing. You know what I mean? In my opinion, one of the surest ways to get your music in front of new audience is to leverage beautiful women. Does that sound messed up? I don't think it does. We all appreciate beauty. Thank you, ladies. Now, the third one is reactors. Now, the best thing about reactors, if somebody reacts to your music, is you can take that content and you can chop it up and you can share it on your own social channels. Sometimes reactors, like what I do, I tell people, okay, if I react to your song anyways, I'll share it. I'll share the YouTube on my Instagram as well. And you just kind of penetrate different algorithms. And the best thing about reaction videos is it kind of gives you social proof. Because I don't know if you've noticed that, but sometimes it might be the hardest people to get to take you serious are the people that actually know you in real life, that think, oh, it's just, you know, Jimmy from work or whatever. But if they see a stranger's face listening to your music and they don't know, but I think, oh, wow, people are actually checking them out. And what attracts attention? More attention. Nobody likes desperation. It's kind of like if you drive by a restaurant and there's a bunch of people standing outside waiting to get in the restaurant, you're gonna think, wow, that food must be pretty good, versus if it's just a bear and nobody's in the owner of the restaurant standing outside like, hey, please come on in and eat the food. You're like, okay, something's off here. So the best thing about reaction videos, even if they don't drive great traffic on the channel, it's good if you can catch a growing channel. If you can get your reactions or a reactor with a growing channel, because that video is going to live on their channel forever, okay? And so as the channel grows, people might fall in love with the reactor and basically watch anything that they watch. So you do have the opportunity to reach a new audience in that sense of its own. But the best part about the reaction videos is you being able to take the footage and share it in your own channels, and it gives you social proof, and you can't really put a price on that. Now, the next method that I believe could really help you out getting your music out there is by making unrelated content. And let me explain a little bit, okay? If you're a musician, good chances are, unless you're a complete industry plant, there's a good chance that you're an all-around creative person and you have other skills. And what do people come on the internet for typically is how to get answers and how to get information. So let's say you're not only are you a musician, you're also a great painter or something, like maybe you're good at working on cars, or there's something that you're good at. Maybe it's just Excel spreadsheets. What you can do is by sharing that knowledge that you have, you can get people's attention. And once you have people's attention, you can start giving them other things because then they respect you. It goes back to the very first thing before we even got into these strategies, where you have to stop thinking that anybody owes you jack. Nobody owes you anything. The way you get attention, respect, money, all these different things is by how you can help others. I mean, you look at the biggest boss, right? The person at the very top, what do they do the best? You might think, oh, okay, they're just getting their asses kissed all the time, but they served enough people to get there. Where the more value you can create for those around you, the more attention and the more power you're going to have. So if you're trying to get your music out there and you have other unrelated skills, like let's say even you're trying to get your beats out there, instead of just being like, hey, will you listen to my beats? Hey, listen to my beats. Check out my beats. Can you give my beats to this rapper? You can say, hey, this is how I make beats, and you can show others how to make beats, and they're gonna think, whoa, this guy knows what he's talking about. Let me go check out his music. So that's a great little hack, or not even a hack, just a great way to just kind of penetrate people's attention by giving them something, giving them some knowledge, and then they will become interested in your art, okay? Now, this last strategy that I'm gonna give you, this one comes with kind of a caveat, okay? This is probably not for the average person. You have to kind of have a certain thing to you to get away with this. And what it is purposely releasing some trash. Now, let me explain. I know how that sounds, okay? The thing about this modern era, if you pay attention, most of your timeline is going to be filled with just clickbait, awful things, right? Awful things spread quicker than good things. In general, look at the news. What is the news? It's all tragedy. People love themselves a good train wreck. If you look a lot of this music that blows up, like think about 6ix9ine when he came around, he had the big, do you think anybody would have listened to 6ix9ine without the giant 6ix9ines on his face and the pink and blue hair and whatnot? Now, you don't have to go out of your way and be that extreme, but if you do put something out into the universe that isn't maybe a direct reflection of what you want your art to be, if you just need to get that attention, okay? A lot of people say like attention is the new currency. If you can make something off the wall just to get people's attention, then be like, oh no, I'm kind of kidding. This is what I actually do. People will respect that, honestly. Anything you can do to grab somebody's attention. If you make a really garbage record with kind of a funny music video now, but here, like I said, here's the risk, is because if you're not funny, like if you don't have some charisma to you, this could really backfire and people are going to call you corny. So use this one with absolute caution, okay? I'm not telling you to go out there, oh, just go make some really corny record. Like, I'm sure you've probably seen this old video circulating of Post Malone singing back then. He's wearing like some jean cutoff shorts or something, I think. Or you get other artists like, Lil B's the goat of this, putting out just absolute trash and then hiding his good stuff in there. He kind of overdid it, but you can do this in a sense where your commercial records, the one you do to kind of break down the door, are silly, something people will want to share, something with some shock value, and you can still make the art you actually want to make and don't consider that as selling out, okay? All right, so I hope these were some good ideas for maybe, even if you don't use them literally how I presented them to you, you can use them in a way to inspire your own angles, because that's all this is. It's all about just finding angles. There is no right or wrong way. There is no one path. No two paths are going to be the same. It's a matter of consistency and finding new angles and doing what works for you. And so always take and leave whatever works for you and just keep moving forward on your journey. And I'm looking forward to hearing your guys' stuff in the future. So if you like this video, if this brought you any value, please share it, please like it, sub to the channel, and I'll see y'all for the next video.